And we're live. Merry Christmas, everyone. In a few minutes, we will be talking about how to stay away from a toxic boss. Once more, in a few minutes, we are about to begin. So please invite your friends, your colleagues, and possibly your boss. Okay? So I hope, and I know some of you guys, some of you out there have experienced having a toxic boss. So this is a very timely topic as well, and every one of us desires to be a boss. So instead of pointing out the finger, why not uh, determine or prevent ourselves? Let's prevent ourselves from being a toxic boss. So there are a lot of articles out there online about toxic bosses, and tonight we'll be discussing instead. We have chopped down some of the essentials on how we can be a very good boss. Okay? And joining us this evening is Sir Raymond Victorino.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas!
Ayan. So once more, thank you, Sir Raymond. So Sir Raymond Victorino is a top HR head in Samsung ba, sir? Tama ba?
Yes, yes, tama, Jomar.
Ayan. And our third panelist, tama ba? Is Miss Grace Kagasyan. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, John Mark and Raymond. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. And our third or our in-house psychologist is Miss Charlene Lucas. Merry Christmas.
Magandang gabi, Merry Christmas. In-house talaga, parang ano parang stay-in na. Nakakontrata na ba, John Mark?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so how's your Christmas pala? Let's start out with Sir Raymond.
Christmas, syempre, full of joy, di ba? Yun naman yung totoong message ng Christmas. And I think being with your family, regardless whether you're out or you're at home, I think that's the best way to celebrate Christmas together, di ba? So, masaya, yun lang, masaya lang.
How about you, Miss Grace?
Simple celebration with the family and yeah, konting toast lang, hindi naman nalasing pero yeah, it was a very meaningful Christmas for us. Thanks for asking.
Ayan, Miss Cha.
Naglasing. Naglasing. Uminom ako. Kasi I'm not a drinker talaga, but the thing is, this Christmas talagang wala. Uminom ako.
Once a year lang naman,
Ayan.
di ba?
Tsaka New Year. So, twice a year.
Oo. Saan ba yung kinuha ko? So once more, ayan, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So, ayan la. Ako, I don't know about you guys, pero ako, I have definitely experienced many, many toxic bosses. So if you would be browsing over to my LinkedIn profile, actually meron atang dalawa dyan na hindi ko nilist down as my employer because of having a very bad experience. And gaya nga ng sabi ni ano no, I mentioned kanina sa ating mga friends sa Raymond, Grace and Cha. Parang na-addict ako ngayon sa Shark Tank eh, no? Yung Shark Tank. And one person there na na-realize ko sa kanya pala binasi si Gru. I don't know, do you know guys Gru?
Yes, Despicable Me.
Ayan oo. Yung there's a shark there, shark investor named Kevin O'Leary. Ayan. And
Si
si Gru,
Kevin.
parang tingin ko kinopya sa kanya talaga yung ano no, yung image ni Gru sa Shark Tank. And naalala ko he mentioned there always all the time. Ang wish niya sa lahat is for everyone to have a catastrophic failure. Parang kakaiba no Sir Raymond, no? Instead of wishing me good luck, 'di ba? I'm gonna be wishing Sir Raymond, I hope you have a catastrophic failure.
Baka naman may
Okay, and
wisdom behind that, Jomar.
Yeah.
oo.
Usually,
And
no?
nabanggit niya 'yon kasi
Lesson.
out of catastrophic failure, doon tayo magkakaroon ng reinvention eh. Sa
Yes.
buhay natin. Hindi mangyayari yung change, yung pagbabago for the good if hindi nangyari yun eh. Kaya sabi niya, it's ano, 'di ba? Sinabi lang siya ng brutally brutally na
Lalim.
sinabi, catastrophic, pero it's really true. And
Yeah.
parang nag-sink in sa akin yun na ano, thank you for all that catastrophic toxic bosses. I will not be here right now if it weren't for them. Okay? So instead of pointing out fingers, 'di ba? Masama po 'yon, no? So I want you guys to level up as well, 'di ba? Parang ano yun, let there be peace on earth. Ano yung
Yes.
kasunod
And let
nun?
it begin with me.
And let it begin
Wow.
with me.
Wow.
So,
Same
Good,
as
para
the
good,
matigil
good.
daw yung mga ganyan, 'di ba? Wag na natin silang pilitin na ano. Pero sa next generation, pag when we are in the spotlight, 'di ba, our turn, 'di ba? Hindi na mangyayari 'yon. So, we have selected again some few questions and guidelines para hindi na daw maulit daw yung mga bagay na yan. Ayan, let's start with you, Sir Raymond. Can you share to us some of your experiences or mga kakilala mo na hindi mo makalimutan with regards to having a toxic boss? Kahit hindi ikaw or
Hmm,
kakilala.
yeah. Ano kasi, well, ang unang tanong dyan, how do you define a toxic boss, di ba?
Mm,
Kasi parang maraming, kumbaga sa produkto, maraming variant yan eh. Di ba? Merong ganitong flavor, may ganyang flavor, but at the end of the day, they are toxic. So, siguro share ko na lang yung sa close friend ko na kakilala. I mean, close talaga kami na, no? And she was telling me a story about her boss na parang everything that she does, parang it's always wrong, parang wala na siyang ginawang tama. So she ended up parang always pleasing this person na hindi naman talaga niya ma-achieve yun because ano eh, wala eh, closed-minded yung tao. So everything that she says, parang laging can be used against her. So ngayon, ang nangyari sa kanya, na-stress siya. And then she experienced anxiety hanggang umabot na siya sa point na umiiyak siya sa gabi. So parang I really felt for her, no? And so yun, I think yung boss na yun is a kind of boss na parang she doesn't care dun sa sasabihin ng isang tao. At first kasi parang maayos naman yung relationship nila eh. But when she did something na parang ayaw ng boss, that's the time na yung boss na yon parang changed her view or treatment dun sa kaibigan ko. Which is sad, di ba? Parang, of course, employees would commit mistakes, di ba, every now and then. Wala namang perfect employee. And there is also no perfect boss. However,
true.
she doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. And yung may experience yung ganon, it even affected yung family life niya. So, yun, may anak pa naman siyang bata. Ayun, so I think yun yung isa sa mga recent lang na that was shared with me by a close friend.
Ayan. How about you, Miss Grace? Can you share to us your experience or possibly your friend's experience? Baka may kakilala ka na pati ikaw mismo sa kwentong yun na-shock ka.
Yeah, well, just to add on Raymond's definition of what really is a toxic boss, for me, it's leaders are also human beings, and if this boss is toxic, means he has a toxic personality by nature. So whether or not nasa opisina siya or he's at work or outside work, he's just really a toxic person to begin with. So, meron akong metaphor about a toxic boss. It's more like a ghost. Kasi parang ang ghost, iniisip mo pa lang, natatakot ka na. So, fear is really parang overpowering. It's an emotion that overpowers other emotions. So, yeah, a toxic boss is someone who gives you the creeps and someone you are very fearful of. Yeah, and that's it, John Mark. I'm also interested about what the chat has to say about a toxic boss.
So I would just like to share first my experience with a toxic boss. Okay. Kasi wala na akong boss, charot. Just kidding. I would say na she falls in a category of a gaslighter. So to the point that she's bringing out the worst in me, the demon in me. So parang to the point na I'm already disrespecting her because of the negativities that she's passing on to me. Of course, I also have in all the relationships naman, it goes two way. I also have my lapses, I also have my issues, right? But the thing is, iba yung pag-handle niya. It's like, parang kagaya din yung story ng friend ni Raymond, wala ka nang ginawang tama. It's like parang yung confidence level mo to the point na na bumaba na siya. So ganun. So I really get out of that because of that company dahil hindi ko na siya kaya. So in relation naman to Grace, there's always behind that. Okay? So yung boss kasi na yon, may pinagdaanan siya, marami siyang pinagdaanan. And to the point na yung boss din niya, na may pinipressure din siya. So yung pressure sa kanya, pinapasa sa amin. So instead of her para bang deflecting it, no, or her para bang in the middle ground, pinapasa niya sa staff niya. So pagka nag-fail kami, or let's say kahit na maliit na bagay lang, she make it like parang ano na, parang a disaster na, which is pwede naman siya ayusin.
Ayan. So, ako marami rin akong narinig, no, at nakita na grabe din. So, sa mga nanonood ng katrabaho ko dati, no, alam niyo kung sino to, di ba? Anyways, yung isa sa pati ako naapektuhan eh. I have this sa ibang team siya. Okay? And then I think for about almost a year, imagine nyo to Sir Raymond, Miss Grace, hindi siya binibigyan ng trabaho. So he goes to work every day, wala siyang gagawin, hindi siya kinakausap. Parang I think parang ang gusto ata mangyari nung mga boss niya ay on his own mag-resign na siya, parang gumive up na. Pero imagine that tenacity na natiis niya almost a year ata, baka almost a year. You go to work every day, tapos hindi ka kakausapin ng boss mo, wala kang gagawin. And then you're paid. So, isa yun sa mga, although marami pa akong kwentong mga ganyan, no? Kaya, isa yun sa mga shocking na experience ko kasi sa kabilang cubicle lang siya, and everyday, tapos nakikita ko yung alam mo yun, nakaka-apekto kasi kasama mo lagi, di ba? Nakikita mo yung mukha niya. Ayun, syempre hindi ka naman pwede magbukas ng Facebook, so parang you're staring at the monitor everyday pretending you're working, and yun pala, no, mahirap pala magpanggap na
AIDS.
na may ginagawa, Miss Cha.
Yeah.
So ikaw,
Baka
Sir
naman may
Raymond, may
online
mga
business na yan, Mark.
ha?
Pwede. Wala.
Oo, kaya okay lang sa kanya.
Oo, pero ayun, isa yun sa mga na-experience ko na na grabe. So, kaya dati I have a fear sa mga sa mga HR. Ayan. Kasi parang ang nangyari, sila laging dumidesisyon. Ewan ko sa mga sa side ko 'yon, kasi I belong to a different industry. I don't know sa inyo, Sir Raymond, or sa iba, kasi pero sa engineering, alam niyo naman 'yan. When it comes to engineering design, 'di ba? May palaging may mga konting yan mga creative, may mga konting tililing. Diba na masasabi sila kasi you have to be creative eh. So, yun sa industry namin. I don't know, of course it varies per per industry siguro. Tama ba, Sir Raymond?
Sorry, it varies per industry kung ano yung treatment ng HR. Parang ganun. Not necessarily actually, kasi I think it's more on kung ano yung number one, ano yung reputation ng HR dun sa company na yon, ano yung trust na binibigay ng management pagdating sa mga decisions. Kasi ako, so far, dun sa mga company that I joined, empowered naman ng HR. I mean, of course, it's not equal as to the empowerment that is given to you. Pero, like for example, in my former company, yung most recent company ko, it's a fast food company. Very empowered ang HR. In fact, talagang may boses ang HR when it comes to decision making ng kahit sa president, ganyan, kung ano yung para, especially kung para sa mga tao. But iba-iba kasi, at the end of the day, it boils down dun sa individual, dun sa tao mismo, di ba, who's playing the role of HR. And
Mm.
dun sa ano ba yung tingin or ano ba yung kultura ng kumpanya when it comes to how they see their HR. No, parang ganon. Mahirap din kasi mag-generalize or mag-stereotype
Oo.
because iba-iba talaga, honestly.
Ikaw, Miss Grace, Miss Cha, have you experienced having the decision na you were tapped by the management to make a decision kung sino yung dapat tanggalin, requiring you to remove, to point out someone na yun yung i-retrench natin? Have you experienced those before?
Yes, of course. These are very tough decisions, John Mark. Definitely, in terms of performance, iisipin mo din na, yeah, kahit na magaling yung tao, but if the character naman is not aligned with the performance, then mag-iisip ka rin if this person is worth letting him stay or not. So, yeah, I think dapat balance ano, in terms of the behavioral and the work performance. So, yeah, how about you, Cha?
Yeah, I also had experience now. But mostly kasi yung mga na-handle ko, yung talagang may issue talaga. Yung talagang ano, nagnakaw, mga gano'n. So yung talagang kailangan talaga silang tanggalin because of a bad behavior. Pero in terms of kung sino in terms yung pagpipilian, ganyan, wala pa naman. Pero meron talaga silang nagginawa, kaya kailangan nila umalis.
Siguro
Yeah.
magdagdag lang ako, John Mark. If you're asking about, for example, relieving the person from his job, di ba? Yung like, halimbawa kung may disciplinary action, usually naman yan, ano talaga yan, dapat ang perspective mo dyan is that objective ka lang, no? So you gather the facts, no, evidences, and then from there, you deliberate. Parang pag-uusapan, doon pumapasok yung subjectivity because at the end of the day, there's no, parang, hindi laging black and white eh. There are gray areas that must be decided upon. And pag dumating yung time na yon, that's the time that the management, for example, or HR will look into, for example, your performance, or is this the first time that you committed an offense for the past 20 years? Di ba? Ano ba yung gravity nito? Did you try to steal money? Mga ganyan, no? So, there's no exact kasi nalaga na pareho talaga yung case, for example, pagdating sa employee discipline. Sa retrenchment kasi yung mga redundancy, ano yan eh, more on yung position kasi yung kaya ka na-redundate because your position has been redundated. Parang hindi na yun kailangan, no? Or parang nag-duplicate ka na, no? So kailangan ng maalis yung position, not really the tao. It just so happen na you're the one holding that position. So dapat objective muna talaga. Kasi the moment that you inject subjectivity in the process, wala na, nandyan na yung parang ano ba yung image nitong tao na to or ano bang tingin mo sa kanya, di ba? It becomes very parang magiging ano na siya, parang drama na siya, no? Hindi na siya objective.
Oo nga. Naalala ko tuloy, 'di ba? Parang ano din ata 'yan sa Raymond, 'di ba? You play basketball eh, 'di ba? And parang totoo ba 'yon na 'di ba, like an athlete, yung success mo nakadepende sa coach mo, 'di ba? Parang tama ba?
Partly, pero ano kasi, masyadong complex eh. Like for example, di ba sa basketball, syempre, it starts with you as a player, di ba? Do you practice? Do you train? Di ba? But at the end of the day, if you're not given the opportunity, for example, ang galing-galing mo, but halimbawa may manager ka or somebody who's representing you is not giving you that opportunity to play in the bigger league, then nakadepende doon yung future mo. But as far as you are concerned, if you are doing what is expected of you that is within your control, then you're still okay. Then that's the time na, but wala nangyayari. Then maybe I look on other things kasi ginagawa ko naman yung part ko. Ano sa tingin niyo, guys? And
Yung pag to ano to ulit lang, to make ulit. Ayun. Nakadepende ba yung career success mo like basketball sa boss mo? So parang ano lang din yan, Miss Chai. I don't know if you know Jordan Clarkson, ganun. So kung hindi siya binibigyan ng playing minutes,
Michael Jordan.
magsasucceed ba siya o ano, 'di ba? Parang ganun, you're not
Ah,
given, tama ba?
the opportunity to shine, parang ganon.
Mm.
Yeah, I would also agree with Raymond. No? So it goes both way in all relationships. So kung magaling ka naman, but your boss is like condemning your life, para bang, ay hindi, lahat na lang mali. No? You don't have the time to, or you don't have that opportunity to shine, to voice out. So talagang you won't really use in your full potential. So, but if you are empowered at the same time, you are also giving your best at work, yung talagang ano, then talagang mabubuo ka, parang gano'n. But ano, it really goes both ways. Aside from your boss, your work environment as well. So, kasama din yan. So, di ba, para bang sa basketball, di ba, may coach ka. Okay, so pero lima kayo, you're a team, right? Eh kung hinahag mo naman yung ball, o yung isang kasama mo, hinahag na yung ball, gusto na siya lang nakaka-shoot. So parang you don't also have that time to really cater your potential. So it also goes with the work environment as well, not only with yourself but in your books, but your work environment as well. How about you,
I
Grace?
I also want to add on what Cha said. No, I really liked what you said about having a toxic boss. You can't really maximize your full potential kasi you're always guarded. Na parang hindi ka makagalaw sa tamang galaw mo, 'di ba? Parang hindi mo
Sumagot ka.
exactly, hindi mo ma-express din yung ikaw, and therefore having a good boss kasi or a great boss, siya yung influencer mo eh, and he's the one who's championing the team. And
Yes.
if you're the MVP, he's also championing you. Kumbaga talagang bilib siya sa'yo. But on the other hand, if he's a toxic boss, definitely he only champions himself. Parang siya lang ang magaling sa lahat. So, I think yan yung sinasabi nga na you can't really maximize your full potential. How are you gonna be able to be the greatest of all times if you have someone who doesn't believe you and who doesn't believe in you and who doesn't trust you as a person or as a performer? Yeah.
Siya na lang kaya maglaro. No, ng basketball. Ikaw ka lang. Sige, go. Sige, go. Ayaw ang paglaro.
Ayan, so out of these sites that you're seeing, ayan, we have selected a few questions, ayan, to ask yourself, ayan, if you are a toxic boss. So, ayan, let's dive in on the first question. Ayan, nawala ata si Sir Raymond, no? And out dahil sa order ng appearance natin sa video, I guess si Miss Grace na lang muna, no. What are your thoughts on this first ano ba to, parang troubleshooting question?
Yeah. So if I get frustrated or agitated when I have to coach someone else, definitely not. My answer to that is I love to coach. That's the reason why I became a transformative coach, because uh, it's innate in me that I believe that every human being has their own capacity to improve, and may anyong kagalingan ang bawat isa sa atin. So, coaching someone else is something that I'm very passionate doing. And masaya siyang gawin eh. Hindi siya burden for me. So, that's something that I enjoy doing. Ayan.
So for me, no, pag when I coach, yung una, pagka tinuruan mo, okay lang. Mga first, ano, no. Pero pag hindi kung parang halos palagi na lang to, parang hindi mo natuturo. Parang minsan naiinis na ako. Okay, so I have a patient type of personality na parang, okay, so ulit-ulit na lang. Parang gano'n. And then there is some point na, parang hindi psychologist yun, no? But there is some point kasi na they stated na alam nila yun. So para bang at least meron man silang background. And then when you get to the person, parang biglang, bakit parang back to zero tayo? Parang for example, recruitment, ganyan. So parang ang alam nila mag-interview. No? But the thing is, when nakasalang nila sila sa floor, no? Then napapa-coach pa sa'yo on the basics of the interviewing skills. So parang minsan doon ako medyo, uy, I get frustrated. I get frustrated. So minsan nakikita mo talaga sa face ko yun. So I don't hide that. The thing is, as much as possible, I tell the person that you also need to do your part. So I'm giving you the skills, I'm teaching you the new skills, I'm coaching you the new skills. So you have to do your part to study on your own. So that's actually how I handle it. How about ikaw, Brother Raymond? Naiinis ka din.
Sorry, I got disconnected eh. Saan na ba tayo? So
Yes.
we're answering this question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yun.
Okay, coaching. Well, definitely coaching is something that I mean, it may not be for everyone, pero you really have to do it if you want um to empower somebody to take action, take accountability. Yun nga, one way is actually to acquire a new skill, di ba? But as Grace mentioned kanina, coaching is something that helps a person unlock yung potential niya, no, that maybe he doesn't realize. So, ako, I love to do coaching. But if the question is, do you frequently get frustrated? I don't, because I know that as a coach, you have to be patient. I mean, you have to have the patience in the world to do coaching. You have to devote time. You have to start it with no, with parang that you love the person. That's why you're coaching the person. Kasi otherwise, if it's me-centric, it will not be successful. However, if you ask me if I get frustrated, yes, I do. I also get frustrated sometimes, especially if the person seems to be uncoachable. Kasi there are
Yes.
people, I think, that
Ay, oo.
even if you
Oh,
explain the process and everything, they are even more impatient than you are to do the coaching process. Kasi it takes a lot of you responding to a question, reflecting about yourself. So I think yes, I get frustrated because I'm only human. But the good thing is that I realize right away that I need to be patient with this person because I'm trying to help. And if I get frustrated and ma-carry away ako dun sa feeling na yun, then I won't be able to help the person anymore.
but if I may add, no? Kasi talagang bigla bumabagabag sa aking kalooban. No? So yung, for example, yung tao na sinabi niya na magaling ako sa ganito, I know this, pagka sa una, and then biglang, boom, uy, parang back to zero tayo. How do you handle that, Brother Raymond, since you're in human resources?
Okay. Parang know-it-all, parang gano'n na
Oo, yung
person.
parang bang ang ganda-ganda niya nung umpisa, yung parang nagde-date kayo, yung parang bang, uy, mayaman ako, ganyan, something, tapos biglang ganun, or mababait ako, or something, tapos biglang pag nakilala mo na, nag-face to face na kayo, parang bang, uy, iba pala siya. Parang, wow, parang ganun.
Oo.
How do you
Sa,
handle?
sa coaching kasi, actually what's good about coaching is that you begin with part of it is really recognizing ano ba yung problema. So parang the person yun nga, pwede for example sa work, feeling niya magaling naman siya sa area na to, he's doing well, but the numbers, the results, parang they do not reflect yung sinasabi niya. So parang as a coach, it's our role to help the person realize na hey, may problema, di ba? And then, dapat siya mismo sa sarili niya, ma-acknowledge na yun na, oo nga, na may problema nga pala talaga. So that's the beauty of coaching, yung asking yung mga questions that will make that person realize na, oo nga, may problema. So anong dapat natin gawin? So ito na, doon na papasok yung proseso na, nasan ba siya ngayon, di ba? Ano ba yung reality niya ngayon? And then, ano ba yung goal niya? No, kung meron man. So, yun yung maganda sa coaching kasi very specific siya. Hindi siya parang you need to cover everything, no, but you focus on one or two maybe a specific aspect of that person's life or work life. Baka si Grace may madagdag dyan kasi she's a practicing coach.
Ay, oo,
Yeah.
si Miss Grace, ano yan,
Oo.
coach talaga yan. Okay.
Yeah, I like what you guys said, ano, especially when you are coaching someone. Kasi lahat naman tayo, meron tayong learning curve. So, lalo na kung bago yung employee or katrabaho mo, you don't expect this person to know everything like you do. Especially if you've been working in the company for like 10 years or more, diba? So you as a manager or as a coach, it's your role, it's your job to be there for this person, especially if she's a direct report to you. So um, it really takes patience and time, yun nga eh, para to go through that process, sabi nga ni Raymond and ni Cha, na hindi siya madaling gawin, pero because kailangan mo siyang gawin and alam mo na makakabuti yung coaching na yan to this person kasi you're working as a team and whatever it is that this teammate is producing as well, it would reflect on you being a leader. So that's about it.
Miss Grace, just to add, have you experienced na talagang may na-experience ka ba na hindi talaga siya coachable tapos tinigil mo na lang yung coaching sa kanya? May na-experience ka bang ganun?
So far wala kasi um, for people who wants to be coached, nandyan lang yan eh lagi. But if they want to resign, kusa na rin naman silang aalis. Meaning to say, there are so many factors that affect their behavior. So probably it's not about coaching. It could be the environment. It could be another reason. So yan.
Okay, so our next question is, ayan. Do you always double check your employees work? Baka siguro ito sa mga sa mga companies na nag-hire ng hindi masyadong knowledgeable para makapag-cost cut. Ewan ko, ito yung nakikita ko cost cut tapos nag-hire ng something na hindi ganun kagaling. Now they're paying the price, di ba? What are your thoughts, Miss Grace?
I do double check my colleagues' work because not that I'm perfectionist, but because excellence is a value that I value. It's something that I truly have imbibed in my work ethics. And when you double check, it doesn't mean that you don't trust your colleagues. It only means that because there's a certain quality that you are expecting, so dapat nakuha ba yon? Kasi kung hindi nakuha, probably yung talent ko is needed there. So ang masama niyan is pag sumobra na. Yon. I'm not sure about the chat or Raymond. What can they say?
Yeah, same as you, no, Grace. I double check that I don't micromanage. We always believe that the person has to be empowered to do this work. No? But of course, you guide the person, and then of course you double check. O baka mamaya, mali na. Okay, so hindi kung simpleng memo lang to the president, biglang, uy, ano to? Diba? So of course, you have to double check the work of your employee, but not to the point na ima-micromanage siya. How about you, Brother Raymond?
Yeah, actually siguro yung tanong, kung yung tanong is, do you double check your employees' work when necessary? Ang sagot doon, yes. Kasi nga, ako kasi I'm a very collaborative leader, to whoever man yung staff ko. So I make it sure that they participate in the decision making, in the conceptualization, no? In fact, there was a time when I was perceived to be incompetent, na parang sinabi nung dati kong staff dun sa boss ko na para daw akong incompetent, para daw akong hindi manager because I always ask questions, I always ask kung ano yung dapat niyang gawin, no? But really what I was doing is trying to empower the person and coach her, no? So apparently, this person pala was used to having a manager na nagde-direct lang na ito yung gawin mo, this is what you're gonna do, tanggap lang siya ng tanggap, and then gagawin niya. May result naman. But at the end of the day kasi, what was good about coaching a person is yung accountability na nandoon na parang talagang akin to, no? I'm committed to this, and this is, I mean, it will reflect talaga my name on it, parang ganon. So, to me, itong question na to, ginagawa ko to, yes, whenever, especially kung medyo junior yung tao ko, and we agreed that this person needs guidance, no? Especially if before presenting to the management, whoever, yung mga high-ranking officers ng company, no? Because it's also my way of protecting this person's credibility. Because alam niyo naman sa corporate, minsan committing one mistake, parang yung impression sa'yo will already last forever. Like, labeled ka na hindi ka na pwedeng gumaling, no? Because this was how they saw you the first time that you did it.
Grabe.
So, yun, I think it depends eh. Kasi meron din naman akong tao na very independent na, very self-driven. Tapos, alam niya na. I mean, in terms of years of experience, then ang dami na. So, yung mga ganun tao, kailangan mo na lang sigurong, alam mo yun, check up with him from time to time, but don't necessarily have to go into the details. So, to me, it's a case-to-case basis talaga.
Oo. Ako nakikita ko parang mahalaga din yung parang relationship nyo, yung pagkakakilala nyo sa isa't isa. Kasi pwede niyang ma-interpret na, 'di ba? Depende sa samahan na dino-double check mo ako, parang mina-micromanage mo ako, incompetent ka. Pwede kang ganunin eh. So parang it boils down sa pagkakakilanlan nyo sa, tama ba? Sa isa't isa, na kung lalabas ba yung tanong na yan, ay attack ba sa akin o yun talaga yung totoo, 'di ba? Tama ba?
Yes. Kaya if you're a manager, sige, go ahead, Jack.
Well, kasi you cannot never control naman people, what's he gonna think about you, no? Pero for me, a rule of the thumb is, yung gagawin mo ba sa kapwa mo, if gawin sa'yo yun, how would you feel? Laging gano'n. Kasi ang basihan mo lang naman sarili mo eh. Kung gawin mo man yun sa kapwa mo, hindi mo alam kung paano yung i-perceive yun eh. Baka mamaya, iba din yung pinanggalingan niya. Baka siya, yung kagaya sinabi ni Raymond, independent na yung tao na yun. Kaya niya na. And then, dinouble check mo yung work niya. So, para bang that person might get offended, no? But the thing is, no, if that person on that situation, how would you feel, no? So laging ganun. So you can never control people. What's other people on what other people's mind.
Kaya, siguro just to add dun sa sinabi ni Cha, that's why it's very important if you're a leader, if you're a manager, from the very start, you set expectations. Not only your expectations from your team, but ano ba yung expectations nila sa'yo. So I think yung having a norm as a team, like for example, if you already agreed that every Wednesday I'll have, let's do a check-in, di ba? Tapos mag-usap tayo, ganyan about how you're doing for the past week, then it won't be a surprise anymore to your staff that you are checking in. So I think those things, no, those are very basic things, but they're very important because a lot of managers would alam mo yun, parang na agad, go na agad, without dedicating time to really understand yung expectation ng bawat isa. Ayan, yun lang siguro sa akin.
Ito rin pala nakakatakot dyan, di ba? Parang kunyari, meron kang mas lower sa'yo. Tapos may kabarkada siya sa isang department. Tapos kinwento niya, lagi akong tinatanong nitong boss ko. Ayan. Tapos yung kaibigan niya na yun sa ibang department, nabanggit niya sa boss niya. So, kwadrado. Nabanggit niya sa boss niya na ikaw daw, palagi ka nagtatanong, nagdo-double check, parang walang alam. Tapos nakwento niya sa boss niya. Yung boss niya tsaka boss mo, sabay kumain yan eh, di ba? Minsan sa pantry. Paano kaya yun? Tapos naisabi sa boss mo, tapos binalikan ng boss mo, oy, sabi sa akin nung ganito, ganyan. No? Sana naman walang naka-experience na gano'n. Paano kaya kung gano'n, no?
Yung employee na yun, hindi niya kaibigan yung pinagsabihan niya. Kasi kasi sinabi ito sa boss niya eh. So dapat sa inyo na dalawa yun eh. Parang gano'n, just kidding.
May ko dyan, Mark. Siguro pag mga ganyan, I think isa yan sa pinanggagalingan ng mga issues sa company eh. If you don't tell the person directly how you feel, or ano yung gusto mong sabihin sa kanya, then eventually it will go out of control. Kasi magiging chismis na siya eh. Di ba? So you tell the person kailangan kung ano yung gusto mong sabihin sa kanya. Not to the boss or to your friend. Ganyan.
I
No,
totally
parang na,
agree. Oo.
oo.
Kasi parang if you have a culture like that na puro gossip, parang you're instead of communicating it directly to the person, kasi communication is very simple but it's hard to do, ano. But if you sit down and have a one-on-one talk, a heart-to-heart talk, or dati nauso pa yung Yossi break, diba? I don't smoke, but people go out for a Yossi break and sabihin, pare, usap tayo. Yung mga small talks na ganyan, of course, right now, because it's digital,
Mm-mm.
it's really hard to do, right? But I think it's important that you spend a little time on that, kasi yung difference na yon, malaking bagay ang pwedeng maidulot niya sa relationship niyong dalawa if meron nga kayong friction na nangyari because of work. Yeah.
Parang
Agree.
natakot tuloy ako at parang hirap, no? Paano kung ginanong ka, di ba?
You would,
Parang hirap.
sorry, no, for me, in a Filipino psychology, we are passive aggressive. So usually, the lower staff cannot assert their ano ba tawag dito, their voice, no? Hindi sila makapagsabi sa boss nila na why are you checking me? Parang baka sabihin ng boss na bakit? Trabaho ko to para i-check kita, no? So we do have that kind of culture. So, but for me, no, it's all right to vent out, lalo na kapag na-stress ka sa boss mo and hindi talaga maganda yung relationship mo. But the thing is, kung pag na-vent out ka, huwag na pa yung tipong kaibigan na kaibigan ng boss mo. Parang ganun. Kasi
Oo.
sometimes we need to let it out eh. Kasi yung sasarilin mo, hindi mo alam na yung boss mo, how your boss will take it. Di ba? Hindi ka makapag-assert sa boss mo. Or as hindi tayo Amerikano na, okay, so kahit bumurahan kayo ng boss mo, okay lang, wala matatanggal sa trabaho. But as Filipino, we value respect. We're passive-aggressive. So that's why we're saying it to other person. Pero yung kapagkakatiwalaan,
I agree.
That's why the role of an external coach or a counselor is really important, kasi diyan ka lang pwedeng makapagsabi ng truth mo eh. And mahirap talaga if you're venting out over a person na katrabaho din ng boss mo, na dun ka nagsasabi ng mga hinaing mo, no? Kasi eventually makakarating din.
yes.
Yes. Agree.
I like this topic.
It's a small world.
Yeah.
Lalo na ako sa pula kayo sa opisina, no?
Yeah.
Tapos kumwadrado pa, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, moving forward, ayan. Do you avoid talking to employees about anything other than work?
But,
Hmm.
pwede ba ako yung unang sumagot dyan?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sige, ako naman, as much as possible, I make it a point to talk to employees, especially to my staff, not only about work, but even in their personal and family lives, as long as they are comfortable. Kasi,
Yun.
sometimes yung behavior ng staff mo or whoever is a reflection minsan or something that they carry with them from home. So, it doesn't mean naman that that you will interfere dun sa buhay nila, but maybe you can do something as well. Kasi usually yung mga, for example, yung mga nakakatrabaho ko, even after they leave the company, they become my friends. So ako, I make it a point na my role is not just their leader. I mean, I can also be their friend, diba, if they need to. And I think that's one way to truly understand yung pinanggagalingan ng tao eh. If you can go as personal as you can, then much better. But of course, when it comes to work, dapat ano kayo, professional, di ba? But may balance kasi it's not all about work at the end of the day, di ba? There's life outside
Yes.
work and it's a bigger life out there. So you have to also be involved somehow, no? Not necessarily manghimaso.
How about you, Bernice?
Ako naman, yeah, thanks for sharing, Raymond. Ano. I enjoy conversations that are outside work and based on my practice. What I usually do as a business development person or as a salesperson, ano, what I do is yung style ko is to talk about other things than work. Kasi yun yung icebreaker eh. That's something na parang, okay, you're also a human being having experiences outside work. So tell me something about it. And then, pag komportable na kayo sa isa't isa, then we can talk about business. So, or work, anything professional. So I think for me, it worked for me and it usually does. Kasi um, this person can also trust me. Doon nabibuild yung trust na parang, okay, meron pala siyang aspect na ganito. And kung pinakita mo yung aspeto mo na outside work, then other people can see you as a whole person, hindi lang all about work. So, in terms of my fellow colleagues naman or the people that I have worked with as well, um, I also want them to be comfortable sharing their experiences to me. Na parang, kamusta? What did you do last weekend? Anong balita? Something like that. Then dun mo malalaman, sabi nga ni Raymond, na may buhay din sila outside of work and you get to know them uh, as a whole. Yeah. How about you, Cha?
Well, same, no? If you're comfortable telling me, your personal life or something, okay lang. So aside from work. But may pinipili lang talaga ako na issues na pwede natin pag-usapan. Like for example, if it is gossip na, paninira na, or something na para bang, ano ba tawag dito, yung negative na, parang kakadrain. Kasi minsan meron mga tao na yung they're already displacing their issues to you. They're already displacing their negative. Although there's nothing wrong naman on that, no? But the thing is, pag nakaka-drain na, pag hindi ko na siya kaya, I make it a point na, okay, so let's just go with this topic, no? Okay, so it's not, ayun ko sinakarinig ng gossip sa ko. Yung parang, it's, magpapantingan tayo ako pag nakakarinig ako yung parang, uy, alam mo ba si ganyan, bakla yan. Alam, ba't ka naging lang? Ayaw na mga ganong klaseng topics. Yeah, I hate that. So sorry.
Ako guys, nakakita ba kayo ng ng boss? Ito, na experience ko. Nakita ko rin 'to. Boss siya, pero hindi siya hindi siya nakikipag-usap. Tapos tuwing lunch break, hindi siya nagla-lunch. Nagla-lunch siya ng 1 o'clock to 1:15, mag-isa lang siya. Naka-experience na ba kayo ng mga ganyang katrabaho na boss siya boss din siya, na hanggang dun ba naman, hindi ka magla-lunch break, tapos kung kailan 1 to 1:15, dun ka magki-quick lunch.
Yes. I saw that. And actually, I did that. No? I did that. Kasi yung toxic yung work environment ko. Kasi yung conversation, it's like gossip. Yung parang, pag may sinabi ka about life mo, makakarating sa ibang tao, yung parang ganon. And then, iba yung nagiging, ano ba tawag dito? Iba yung nagiging dating. So, and they're draining yung mga katrabaho, they're draining. So that's why may sinasabayan ako na iba or sa iba ako nagla-lunch, no? Because I don't want to absorb their negativity. So yes, I do that. Hindi ko na kaya. Hindi ko na
Parang
kaya.
din yan, no, sa iba, no? Parang critical yung lunch break na yan kung sino kasama mo. Tama ba, Miss Cha,
Yes.
di ba? May iba kasi na hindi nila kasama sa lunch break yung ka-team nila eh. Iba yung ka-team nila yun, pero sa ibang team siya nakikisumasabay sa lunch.
Kasi yung
Diba?
yung mga kasama mo, you want also to feel naman worthy ka, pinapakinggan ka, tapos hindi yung chismisan, yung buhay ni ganito, buhay ni ganito, ano pang magagawa na yung buhay ko. I really don't like that. So, umaalis talaga ako sa mga ganong klaseng usapan.
Ah. Okay, moving forward, next. Ito, parang ano nga to ng onte, mabigat nga to ng onte. Do you take credit? Hmm. Okay, Miss Grace, what are your thoughts on this?
Pressure, pressure. Ako, um, syempre, if you're working with a team, syempre, meron ka din contribution doon, di ba? But if there's a certain uh, uh, work per se na maganda sobra or an idea na na-suggest ng teammate mo, ako, my practice is I always say na, wow, that's a brilliant idea. And, I just always want to encourage that idea. Kasi even if this person is not the same level as you, be it in the background or education or in terms of rank. But if the idea resonates and if this idea can, help the team move forward, then why not? Talagang even after the meeting, sasabihan ko pa siya or kakausapin ko pa na, wow, ganda ng idea mo. Tara, let's talk more about that and explore more on that. Pero meron din akong mga kilala na nang-aangken ng credit. So, yun naman is something na I also don't like in terms of the team dynamics. Kasi it's so obvious. People will see naman and they know naman who contributed that idea eh. So, kung may nang aangkin, at the end of the day, it's on him. So, yun, hopefully, our culture, ang dream ko talaga is like to have a workplace na you can give contributions and you can be recognized by it. So, yun.
Ayan, Miss Cha, Sir Raymond, na-experience nyo na bang, kayo yung gumawa nun, parang siya yung ninakaw yung credit sa inyo?
Well, a lot of times, no? But the thing is, if it is, ang ano ko kasi, ang thought process ko kasi, I'm working for the company. So anything that nalalabas sa utak, nalalabas sa utak ko, it's with the company. So even if I'm not recognized by it, kasi lalo na pagka-department kayo, okay lang. Kasi bayad ako dun eh. No? So it's all for the company. Pero yung merong mga instance like work ko talaga, tapos ginaya, and then they took credit for it, doon ako aalpak na parang, wait lang, no, that's my idea, and then bakit mo siya agawin? But if it is, let's say, for the department, no, okay lang, okay lang. Kahit yung manager ko pa yung magsabi na, oh, okay, ako ang gumawa niya. Oh, sige, sa'yo na. Kaya na po.
Sa akin naman, so far I haven't experienced pa naman siguro a boss parang grabbing the credit that belongs to me. Pero may na-experience na ako na yung, for example, yung boss mo, yung leader mo, was not able to emphasize your contribution. So parang impliedly, it's as if yung boss mo yung gumawa lahat nun. So parang magkaiba kasi yun eh. You grab the credit away, meron naman hindi mo ni-recognize yung credit, but you are not grabbing it na parang directly, no? So ako as a leader, I think it's our responsibility. For example, if we are the one presenting to management about something, maybe a proposal, we should call out the name of our members whose idea, this belongs, no, parang ganon, and this is his work. Actually, Jomar prepared this PowerPoint presentation, yung mga ganon, no, it's our responsibility. So if you don't mention that, then all the credit might go to you. So in by implication, you are somehow grabbing the credit that
Okay.
belongs to another. Parang ganon. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Ayan, shoutout pala kay Miss Jeanette Kahukom. Ayan, thank you.
Hi,
Hi,
Miss
Miss
Jen.
Jeanette.
Again, good evening.
Ayan, if ever you would like to join us, I just sent you a link. Okay. Uh, Next. Ito na-experience ko din. So, do you discourage employees who disagree with you from speaking up? This one, I have experienced this as well to the point na ayaw na nila mag-input ng sarili nilang, alam mo yun, thoughts and ideas kasi baka maputukan lang sila pa masisi if ever na pumalpak yung isang bagay yan. So, ayan. Miss Grace.
I was expecting si Raymond muna sasagot.
Okay lang.
Ah,
Pwede naman, pwede naman.
sige. Ano naman? Sige, ako muna.
Yes.
Okay. Well, definitely, sasagutin ko muna yung question. No? Do you discourage employees who disagree with you? Of course not. Kasi if you discourage them from disagreeing or parang challenging your opinion, then you are already killing innovation. You are killing
Yun, no?
creativity. Diba? Kasi hindi ka naman lahat ng knowledge nasa iyo. And I'm sure at some point in your corporate or whatever life, you realize that somebody else, no, at some point may have a better idea, no, than what you have. So, ang answer ko dyan is no. Pero I've witnessed some culture, not necessarily the entire company, but maybe a department. Kasi yung may corporate culture pero every department may ano pa yan, unique pa yan na culture under that bigger culture. So, there was a time na parang we were attending a talk, no? Nandun lahat kami. I'm an HR, imagine. Tapos, when the speaker asked a question, walang sumasagot. So parang every time nagtatanong yung speaker, walang sumasagot because everybody in that room was actually afraid to speak because they were thinking na kapag may nasabi sila na mali, it will be taken against them. Na parang they will be labeled as somebody who spoke. Alam mo yun, ganun, yun kasi yung I don't know, but we're guilty also sometimes as HR, and we need to communicate this. Whenever we assess a talent, for example, for promotion, pinag-uusapan namin ano ba yung specific incident about this person pertaining to this particular competency that I mentioned, or ano ba yung attitude ng tao na to. So, alam mo yun, parang sometimes it also is, if you don't practice it in the right way as HR, malilabel mo yung tao eh. So, minsan guilty rin kami. But, I learned my lesson also na don't label a person by the last or ano ba yung last incident involving him. Kasi it creates a culture na parang, may HR, baka binabantayan anong sasabihin ko, baka magkamali ako ng English or, alam mo, yung mga gano'n na I can communicate with. So, yun, I think, yun yung masishare ko about it.
So for me, no, ako na, no? Okay, so do you discourage? Okay, so definitely no. Adelantada na, no? So, for me, ganito lang po talaga ako. So, okay, so for me, no. But first, of course, no, it should be, communication kasi is the best or the main ingredients in any successful relationship. Whether it is, let's say, friendship, work, no, or family, communication talaga. But of course, it should be with respect. And then, of course, back up mo ng data. Baka mamaya, you're disagreeing with me, wala palang pinagbubulan yan. No? Hinugot mo lang siya sa akin. So, syempre, kailangan may facts din siya. May data din siya. And then, okay, so, and of course, no, I also experienced din yan, no? Yung before kasi, ano ba tawag ito? Innovative po. Okay, so parang I give everything, all my ideas, best practices in the industry, then parang unti-unti siyang binabaril nung ouch. So parang then later on, after how many months, parang bang, uy, maganda tong klaseng project na to, parang bang, okay. Okay, itong project na to na ganyan, no? Parang mga dati kong mga project na inuumpisahan, tapos, yun na. Yun ang masasabi. How about you, Grace?
Thanks, Sha. Ako naman, I always encourage yung learning culture wherein doesn't matter kung kanino galing or kasi lahat tayo dapat meron tayong airtime na parang everybody should be given a chance to speak up. Kahit na balagtad pa nga yung English mo na sabi ni Raymond or di ka masyadong marunong mag-express. Actually, yun nga yung best moment for you to practice eh. Kasi diyan ka nahahasa na, okay, mas nagiging better yung mga ideas ko. Last year, parang hindi naman ako masyadong magaling or creative. Parang kaka-suggest ko kahit mali-mali, parang nagiging tama na lang bigla. So, if we stop people from speaking up, then we also stop the learning culture. Then we stop ourselves from progressing from one place to another. So, yeah, it would be nice to let people speak up.
Mm.
Ayan. So once more sa mga latecomers natin, oh. So these are baka tanungin niyo yung mga questions to. So these are questions, troubleshooting questions. Kung kayo po ay hindi niyo nare-realize because sometimes totoo naman, 'di ba? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Tama ba? Sa Transformers ba 'yon? Minsan, 'di ba, ang makakapagsabi na nagbago ka ay ibang tao. So these are questions po na to guide you na baka ikaw pala ay toxic boss na. So ayan, FYI po sa mga viewers natin. Okay, next. Kasi parang brutal na brutal yung question eh.
Oo nga.
Ayan. Next. Do you blame your team? Ayan, so eto definitely masyadong brutal na to, no? Do you blame your team when to relate this kanina, tama si Sir Raymond, 'di ba? This removes the innovation na, no? Ayan, your thoughts, Sir Raymond?
Yeah, actually yung question kanina tsaka yung question na to may kinalaman to dun sa psychological safety sa isang company. And it's very close to my heart kasi I really believe in I mean, I believe that psychologically safe companies would really be successful, no? And I've seen companies na there is not much psychological safety but are still successful. However, I don't see that sustainable. Kasi you'll see yung high turnover rate, makita mo yung mga employees na parang they're afraid to commit mistakes, no? And it's not good kasi people will not explore ways of doing things, di ba? And yun, so ako, ang sagot ko dito is that definitely not. Kasi blaming won't go, I mean, it can bring your team to the next level or forward. Eh. So it's a matter of siguro saan ba tayo nagkamali, no? So we own up to our mistakes. Ano ba yung naging problema natin, and then let's try to resolve it, no? Moving forward, how do we do this better, no? What we could have done better ba talaga, parang gano'n. I think yun yung question na lagi kong tinatanong din sa team na what do you think are the things that we could have done better, no? Kasi we failed to reach our goal, our target. So yun, and then of course after that would be the commitment na moving forward.
Ayan, and before Miss Grace shares her thoughts, ayan, comment by Sir Jed Bautista. Ayan. Also, there are times wherein there is a culture in an organization where people are not listened to by higher ups. And this gets passed down onto the last level. Ayan. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Sir Jed.
Totoo yan.
Yeah, tama. Sa akin naman yung experience ko to this, meron akong naalala na magaling na boss actually. Of course, when you're working for a startup company, not everything that are planned will go well. And not everything that you started doing works. So, yung boss na to, talagang he's really he's really owning the mistakes or the hiccups that are happening sa amin, ano. And that really sticks with me up to this day. Kasi parang ang magandang nangyari doon is that hindi niya biniblame yung mga tao niya na, okay, dahil sa pangit na idea nyo or natin, sige, ako na lang ang magti-take ng blame. So, even, starting a meeting, he would say, it's my fault. And I'm sorry, guys, if things didn't turn out well as we planned. So, being a leader takes a lot of guts to own the blame.
Oo nga. Shit.
And wow, up to this day, talagang wow, it really reminds me of him. So kudos to that boss. Yeah. How about you, Chat?
Well, I would add dun sa sinabi mo, Grace, no? So, for me, I would, ano dun sa chain of command. So, pag nakarating na sa akin yan, yung decision, and then I make the decision, the blame is on me, right? Not my team. Kasi yung double checking, right? And then yung kanina na question, and then now, no? So, pag I approved it, the blame is on me pag tumatak yan. Kasi I approved it. Pero pag yung staff ko, hindi siya dumaan sa akin, which is supposedly dapat dadaan siya sa akin, and then he did it on, parang ano yung patago, na walang approval, then doon kami mag-uusap. No? And then pumalpak siya, and then doon kami mag-uusap. Because of course, respeto sa manager mo, right? You take the shot. Kaya ka nga nilagay sa posisyon na yan so that you can decide for the team. You're much more knowledgeable. So I would go for the chain of command. But of course, not all the time. Kung yung mga simpleng bagay na hindi na dapat sa akin dumaan, then okay lang naman. Pero yung mga bagay na yung talagang make or break ng department nyo or ng team mo, and yun, mag-uusap kami.
Yeah.
Grabe, Miss Grace, no? So ako naka-experience din ako, Miss Grace, ng ganyan yung boss na, alam mo yung pinagtanggol ka, siya sumalo lahat nung ano, kamalian ng tao, di ba? So like what we have heard from you, di ba? Grabe, hindi mo makalimutan. And the funny thing about that din, yung boss na yon lumipat ng ibang company. And dahil lumipat siya, lahat din ng mga tao niya sumama din. So wala, naisip ko lang din
Oh,
yung
wow.
downside din pala niya na pag hindi naalagaan yung tao din na yon, ang laking damage din pala kasi pinahiri siya ng kalaban, lahat din ng mga tao niya kasama din niya
Sumama.
talaga. Oo. Ayun. Ayan, so another thought pala by Sir Jed. No, I just discussed the results and tell the team what happened to learn from it and immediately shift focus into coming up. Ayan, tama naman. Huwag na mag-dwell sa ano, no? Sa
Yes.
kamalian. Siguro, mabilis na quick slap in the face siguro. And then focus na sa ano, 'di ba? Para hindi ma-demoralize yung kasama natin. At may nalagpasan pala ako, no? I think this is that. Tama na ba? Pang ilan na tayo? Question. Have you kept track?
Honestly, no. Siguro pang 5 na to.
Parang pang last na ata tayo, pang 7. At nalagpasan ko pa ata yung isa, which is hindi ko ata nalagay. Hindi ko nga ata
Cover
nalagay.
natin.
Sige, ano po
Oo.
yun?
Pero yung isa na hindi ko pala nalagay is, ayan, ito mahalaga rin. Do you play, edit ko na nga. Do you play favorites?
Mm,
Mm.
interesting.
Mahirap din to. Parang sa family din pala to. Minsan,
Si
hindi
Raymond
maiwasan
nagkakapit
ni
na-
mama, papa, unknowingly, na madiscover ng ibang co-siblings mo na siya pala yung favorite nila. 'Di ba? And it happens also to the to the workplace. So, 'di ba? Same in the family. So, ikaw, Sir Raymond, baka unknowingly na-express mo sa team mo, hindi mo alam. Dahil siya yung nasunod lagi agad sa'yo, na-perceive ng iba na, ay, favorite ni ano si ano to.
Umamin ka na daw, Sir Raymond.
Hindi, pero honestly, ako I don't really play favorites eh. Kasi, bakit nga ba? Well, sa team kasi, sa isang team, there will be people who will excel more than the others, di ba? Na talaga mas magaling sila dun sa ginagawa
Tama.
nila. However, minsan people would perceive that it's about favoritism. If for example, they're giving more projects to this person as compared to the other one. But mainly, yun nga, this is something that you need to communicate. Kaya very important yung communication. So why am I giving this bigger project to this person? Because this person has already proven himself that he is capable of doing it. However, yung isa na nag-struggle, sabihin mo yan ng malaking project, then you are setting up that person for failure. kasi nga meron pa siyang issues that he has to resolve. So, in terms of, I think, treatment to every team member, mag-iiba-iba talaga. But if you want to make sure that people would not perceive it as favoritism, then you have to communicate. You have to tell them why, you have to make them understand your decision and maybe also ask for their opinion about it. Kasi anything na basta na pag-uusapan, I think communication talaga eh. Everything else,
Oo.
it all boils down to whether the communication is effective or ineffective or absent.
And the way things people interpret no what
Yes.
you said, what you did. Ayan. Ikaw, Miss Grace,
Ako,
favorite ka ba sa mga companies mo dati?
I hope so. I hope so. Well, ako din naman, may mga favorites din ako. But of course, you don't show it up front.
Yes.
Yun nga probably kaya mo sila favorite dahil mas nagkakasundo kayo and mas naiintindihan ka nila sa mga gusto mong mangyari. Pero the reason why baka meron ka ding hindi favorite is because hindi mo pa sila ganun kakilala. Ano ba yung talent nila na hindi mo pa din na-discover? So, it's really more about getting to know a person or your people. And the more you get to know them, the more na mas alam mo kung saan sila lulugar and kung saan babagay yung mga work na i-assign or i-delegate mo sa kanila. So there, it's just a matter of, I think, being fair to everyone. Um, Yun nga, I like what Raymond said na you have to let everybody understand why you're choosing this person over this person for a project. So, para hindi din ma-misinterpret na, kasi siya lang yung favorite, siya naman lagi. Kasi if you're doing that, and kung siya naman talaga lagi, then mau-obvious ka rin na talagang favorite mo siya. So, it's a matter of being fair and being neutral as well.
So same with Grace, no? Same with Grace. Yes, I do have my favorites, no? But the thing is, I don't show it. Kasi gano'n naman talaga tayo. We have inclination to have favorite kasi mas yung ugali, nakakasundo natin, nakaka-jive natin, no? Same wavelength and everything like that, no? Madali mo nakakausap. So sometimes we do favorite, even sa mga anak natin. So may magkakaroon, but as much as possible not to show it, no? Kasi so that hindi magkaroon ng issue sa office and at the same time, okay, so at the end of the day, we're all there to work, no? And give the best that we can.
Ayan, so a thought from Sir Jed. I don't play favorite, but there will be instances that a series of tasks, tama naman, needs the talent or skills of the same person. Tama nga naman, paano ko siya talaga yung doon, no? I will always tell the team that each of them has a task needed by the project. Yan, nakakatuwa. I have not been a favorite, but my superiors then and now always know the tasks and jobs that I do best. Ako, may naisip lang din ako, no? If you want to be the favorite, malaki rin kasi advantage, no? Kung ikaw favorite. Diba?
Yep.
Yes, yes, yes.
Ang naisip ko lang, if you want to be a favorite, be dependable. Diba? Maaasahan, kahit hindi ka sobrang
Yes.
galing, up to the smallest detail na maaasahan ka niya, be dependable. That is the key if you would like to be the favorite. Diba?
Favorite.
Ayan. Ayan, so shout out kay Sir Dennis.
Agree ako dyan,
Deseco. Ayan.
John. Sabi nga
Ayan,
nila,
yun.
Jomart, the greatest ability is dependability.
Ayun.
Yes.
Ayan, so that's our short troubleshooting questions. So to our viewers out there, may na-miss ba kami? Or may na-miss ba ako? Or may na-miss ba ako, Miss Cha, Miss Grace, Sir Raymond? Ano pa kaya yung isang some of the troubleshooting questions na to ask yourself if you're a toxic boss?
For me, no, may
Kung
pinanggagalingan ka ba?
nagkakasya
May pinanggagalingan ka ba? Bakit ka ganyan? Bakit ayaw ng mga tao sa paligid mo? No? Kasi, ano siya, we're not for everyone, and everyone is not for us. Okay? So, given yun. But the thing is, pagka yung community mo mismo, no, ayaw na sa'yo, marami na nagre-resign sa department mo, marami nang nagagalit sa'yo. So, and then you have to really question yourself. No? Meron ba akong pinanggagalingan? Ano ba yung binibigay ko sa kapwa ko? It's more of self-awareness, no? And acceptance that there's something wrong with you that you need to change. So, there. May pinanggagalingan ka ba?
Agree.
Ayan. May chinat lang ako sa inyo.
Yeah.
Nabasa.
In my, ayan, kay Sir Jed, in my case, I was known to be dependable. O, totoo naman. But I have not been the favorite. O yun nga. Burden iyan kapag favorite ka. Mataas
Correct.
expectations. Correct.
More work.
Okay, so that's our troubleshooting questions. Kung nag-enjoy po kayo ayan sa format nating ganito, 'di ba? Asking everyone to comment down on what topic you would like us to talk about. What are your thoughts on this format, Miss Grace?
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for preparing this, Jomark, and for inviting us. I really love the topic kasi it's relevant, especially now na it's uncertain. Like we don't know what's gonna happen even in the next 3, 6 months. Are we still going to be working remotely, or it's really hard to tell what's going to happen, ano? So how are we now going to behave in this setup wherein the situation is getting more challenging and we are expected to be a great leader that everybody can rely on. And yeah, as a human being, I feel that everybody is practicing how to be compassionate. Kasi baka yung toxic boss nyo, baka sila din, marami din silang pinagdaanan na nabully din sila one day or we don't know about their trauma. So, a little compassion would help also. Kasi kung di mo na talaga kaya, then that's the time you can, decide and divorce with that kind of boss and that kind of environment. Because you have a choice, right? Bakit ka magsistay sa isang kumpanya na hindi ka naman na masaya? Na ginawa mo na lahat eh. Parang marriage, di ba? I'm not married yet. I'm single, right? But it's common sense that, yeah, there's annulment, there's divorce. You can do that. And it's doing a favor to you and to the company that you're working for. So, thank you. Thank you for this.
Ayan, so once more, itong topic natin is not only applicable to your boss. So we want you also to think about a toxic customer, 'di ba? So isa din yan sa one of the things na i-relate nyo yung discussion natin. And before Sir Raymond may susunduin siya, your thoughts please. May internet problem ata si Sir Raymond. Parang nag-freeze ba?
Hello?
Tama ba?
Yes.
Ayan.
Ayan.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yan.
We can hear.
Si chat na lang muna. I think nag-hang yung connection.
Okay. So, i-ano ko lang din yung kanina, no? So, may pinanggagaling mo ka ba? So, yun ang question. And I like the format. No? It's very interactive. We get to, may hugot na tayo sa mga experience we're learning from. Kasi iba-iba tayo ng experience. Eh. Iba-iba tayo ng pinanggagalingan. Iba-iba tayo ng nangyari sa buhay natin. So, for me, no, self-awareness, kung nakakasakit na tayo sa kapwa. So, kahit saan, kahit kanino. So, as what I've said kanina, empathy, kung halimbawa yung sasabihin mo o yung gagawin mo, okay, is kung ibibigay sa iyo, how would you feel? No? So, kung masasaktan ka, rephrase it, reformat it, no? On the best way na maibibigay mo yung it's either comment, no? Or yung let's say sa trabaho, if it is about work related, sasabihan mo yung staff mo na okay, so you have to change it, no? But kasi meron iba kasing boss na para bang galit agad, right? Yung para bang lahat na lang mali. Okay, so which is pwede na mag-improve ng tao. So, ayun, empathy. Empathy, kindness, respect. Brother Raymond.
Sige. Kahit sana walang camera, baka, ayan. Can you hear me?
Yes po.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sige. Siguro ako, first of all, yun nga, thank you, John Mark, for arranging this. I think it's a very timely and relevant topic, no, yung having a toxic boss or toxic work environment. Siguro three things lang. Number one is that if you become a leader kasi or a boss, you have to shift the focus away from you and towards your people, no? It takes a lot of maturity, of humility, of sacrifice to do that. Pero I think that's the way to go to become a great leader. And then number two is that I think communication really is key. No, if your boss is not initiating conversations, then you initiate it. No, you try to manage. I mean, hindi lang yung kasi may boss management, eh, di ba? And we are employees, have our opinion, we have our own experience, our insights, di ba? So parang make use um, of of that, no, to really share, speak up, you know, and initiate that conversation. And then lastly, yun nga, I think um, yung self-awareness is very important if you are a leader. Kasi minsan parang, bakit kaya laging umaalis yung mga tao? And then if you try to look back, no, who's the common denominator? Ikaw lang naman yun. So I think you have to be self-aware also of what your strengths and weaknesses are. What are your intentions ba? What are your objectives for better? Kasi if you don't examine it, then it will not make sense eh. Parang it will also be good for your team. And siguro if you're a team member, if you have yun nga, if you have a boss na toxic, ang suggestion ko is that you apply EGR, no? Kasi ito yung mga tao na EGR, extra grace required, no? Grace. You need to extend a little more patience and grace to them. And then yun nga, at the end of the day, if it becomes a compromise naman na sa'yo, no? You always have a choice. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can find another or a better job right away, but you know, sometimes yung self natin kaya hindi tayo nagsasalita, kaya hindi tayo kaya gusto natin laging apple of the eye tayo, but at the end of the day, that's self-preservation that we want actually kills us. Eh. So, would you like to live in an environment that you are dying without you knowing, di ba? Parang ganun. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Ayan. And before we end, shout out din kay Sir Dennis De Silva once more and from Tito Genic TV. Ayan, pag toxic daw, wear PPE. Patience and put aside expectations. Ayan. Ako naman, my message to my past bosses, siguro from ano ulit, no? Kevin O'Leary, thank you for that catastrophic experience from you all. At hindi ako mapupunta sa ganito kung hindi ko naranasan sa inyo. So, thank you for the lesson. And instead of, 'di ba, going back, talking at the back, 'di ba, stabbing back, thank you po ng matindi and you made all of us, 'di ba, lahat kami more resilient and strong person. So once more, Merry Chris.
Merry
Merry Christmas
Christmas.
po sa inyo lahat and
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year. If
Happy New
ever,
Year!
yep, if ever po nagustuhan nyo yung format na to or you would like to have a topic for us to talk about, at hindi lang po kami dapat ha, hindi lang po kami lagi, baka isipin ng iba kami na lang lagi, no? If you have an advocacy or a message to share, please po, basta pag tama, ikabubuti ng lahat, gawin po natin to and our door is always open, always Christmas, we're doing this, 'di ba, for the benefit of all and sana po with this simple gesture this Christmas itong ginawa namin, nagbigay kami ng kahit na slight ano no peace of mind sa inyo and simple lesson, malaking malaki na pong ano yun, pasasalamat. So before we wrap up your Christmas, New Year wishes to all, Miss Grace, starting with you, Miss Grace.
Thank you so much. Just a reminder, people don't leave jobs. They leave toxic work environments. So, uh, I hope we remain kind to each other and yeah, just be nice to each other and enjoy work. Thank you guys.
Miss Ja.
Yes. For me, no, go where you were appreciated. No? Yung mapapakinggan yung voice mo. And yung kasi, of course, I said kanina, you're not, everyone is not free and you are not for everyone. So, dun ka sa mga tao. Find your people where you can be appreciated, no? When, yung para bang, ano ba tayo, ano ka, ma-acknowledge ka. Okay? So, and LinkedIn, this is a good platform, no? That you will be acknowledged as long as, syempre, tama as what is Jomar said, tama. Right?
Ayan. And the last Christmas, New Year greetings from Sir Raymond. Naghangata.
Yes, yan, medyo naglaho ng internet ko. Bulan kasi. So,
Yes.
ayun, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And siguro yun, reminder ko lang din and something that I also espouse no, in my own life na the higher you go up, no, the ladder, the more that you should become a servant to people, no. And sana wag nating isipin na because mas mataas tayo, no, we can overpower them, no? But rather we can empower, no, people. And that's the essence of great leadership, di ba? You create more leaders. And don't worry about the recognition, no? Your output, your result will speak, and your people will speak of itself for you.
Ayan. So once more, thank you everyone and yeah, see you on our next LinkedIn local meet Philippines live. So once more, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year po.